welcome to Inside Leduc. I am Tarah Flynn, your host of our podcast today, and I just want to say a warm welcome to our guest, Laura Tillak from True Touch Massage Therapy and Fitness. Awesome. So thank you so much for joining us today.
Yes, I'm happy to be here and to share whatever it is I can to anybody in Leduc that's looking to do what I've done or something similar.
So tell me a little bit about your business. What is it that you do?
So True Touch Massage Therapy and Fitness offers, massage therapy is our primary thing. And then on top of that, we also do personal training as well as group fitness classes so that we can, fix you, relax you, teach you how to strengthen. And then it's just that whole rounded wellness aspect of it.
Nice. So what was the inspiration when you started your business?
Well, actually, I was pregnant and it was the first time I had ever received a massage 15, 16 years ago. And I thought, wow, this is super great. Like I couldn't believe that this was the thing that could actually help me not be in pain. And then through that, I immediately, as soon as the baby was out, decided I need to take this course and learn how to do it. And then once I got into learning about that, within the massage therapy certification diploma, there is an aspect of remedial massage, which is also doing the strengthening and stretching and that aspect. And so then that made me want to go into being a personal trainer as well as a fitness instructor. So it kind of just all snowballed from just what I had experienced and how great it felt. And I thought, well, other people must want this too. So I just thought, why not? I might as well learn it and then see what I can do about, creating a business for it.
That's awesome. So do you do all of it still, or are you focused more? Or how does that work as a business owner and someone who also practices?
Yeah, I do all of it still. That way I can still be, educating myself and understanding what my expectations should be from my employees as well. And also I just still really love it. I love still massaging. I only massage my current clients that I have. I don't take any new ones on just because I don't have the time to dedicate to people, monthly if I were to take more. And then personal training, I still do that. And then fitness classes, I'm teaching like 8 classes a week. And honestly, that's just super fun. It's my workout also. So I get to get, fit and active, and then I get to share that with people, and it's so much fun.
So do you teach the same classes, or do you change it up, or do you see something and try it and then teach it, or how does that work for you for that?
Well, I teach, so I think there's like 4 main ones. So I teach Zumba fitness. I teach pound fitness with the drumsticks. I teach Strong Nation, which is kind of a fitness kickboxing type thing. And then I also just recently got certified to teach Zumba step and core. And so they're all just a little bit different, but they are choreographed to a specific music that they provide, and that we, have to make sure we're doing, different types of moves for it. And, but those are the ones that I teach. And then I just teach a couple of those classes each week. But yeah, it's so fun. So fun.
If you could do anything else, what would it be?
If I could do anything else, that's a hard one, because honestly, I really love what I do. But if I had to choose something else, I actually always wanted to be a doctor. But growing up, there was just no way that I could afford to go to school for that. So I guess this is my next best thing, is that I can, provide this kind of, well-being and this, massage therapy and fixing and helping people and educating them on how to make themselves better, inside and out. And I guess so it's my version of being a doctor. I just more holistically, I guess.
Yeah, no, for sure. So it's always been something to do with your body and people,
Yeah.
which I find is great. And I think it's probably a little bit more interactive this way too, than just the doctors come in and how you do. And you really get to see the vision more than just the stop, right?
Exactly. No, yeah, it's, you really get a hands-on, every week, seeing those people over and over again, and you get to see them actually grow and get better. And, whether it's stronger or whether it's the tension in their muscles, getting less, it's just, you get to see that whole progression. Whereas if I were a doctor, I would only see them when they're in pain and then, help them a little bit. But yeah, this is this is way better. I mean, I may not get paid as much, but it's way better.
I can valid for that for sure. Doctors are good monies in that one. What is it like to be like a boss? Like you've got quite the team then in that building that you've had. So how does that work? Like, do you enjoy that aspect as well?
Yeah, well, what got me to opening my business and moving it along from being out of my home to where it is now was the fact that I had some people reaching out to me and saying that they can't find a place to work that would work with their schedule, whether they're single moms and they have their kids one week and not the next week. They wanted to do, daytimes one week, evenings the next week, or, someone that just, wanted to do Tuesdays and Thursdays. And so I provide that flexibility. And, that's why we're open 7 days a week, is that I have someone that wants to work one of those days. And so if I can just allow them to come in and work whatever days it is that works best for them, as long as we're not maxed out and as long as it works really well with the amount of people that can book in at that time, I'm fairly flexible to do that. And so, where like I have young kids as well, and I really needed that flexible schedule that I could, even come in the day, deal with the kids in the afternoon, and then maybe come in at night for a few more. So that's kind of where I am right now, is because I teach a lot of my classes in the evening, but it gives me that flexibility to modify to whatever it is that works for me. And honestly, it just kind of grew without even trying to grow, because I was able to attract people that needed a specific type of schedule, and they just wanted to work there, and I had people begging to work there. So it's really great and really easy how it kind of just organically grew into where it is now. And even the reception job, I have 5 receptionists. It's
wow.
It's kind of a job share of sort. I have one main one in the daytime, but I usually have students that are in the evenings. So they can each, have a different evening day, whether they want Tuesday, Thursdays, whatever their school is, whether in high school or whether in college. And they just kind of job share it. So they still get the experience, but they are also able to fit it into their schedule, and it doesn't have to be full-time all the time. So.
So your growth started with you, and then you had people who wanted to work for you versus you start looking outward.
Yeah. In my house, I actually ended up hiring people to work in my house because they were in apartment buildings, and they're like, well, I want to do it out of your house. And so I started hiring and getting people in my house. And then that's when I'm like, okay, there's too many of us now. We got to get out of the house. And that's when the storefront started, and that's how that worked. But yeah, they just came and needed something. And so I just try to find a way to make it work.
Oh, that's brilliant that they see you and what you were doing, and they were very drawn to, it must have been the environment that you're providing and the services that you're providing, that they were like, nope, this is who I want to be with. Are they still with you now, those people?
Yeah, I actually have a lot of people. I give my employees anniversary gifts. And so I keep track of how long everybody's been there, and on their anniversary, on our anniversary, they get a gift. And so, I've had people there for 6 years now, and, 4 years, and, it's slowly progressing. And just like any place, you kind of have to wean out some of the ones that just aren't working out, or they just don't fit with our True Touch family, we call it.
Mm-hmm.
But once you get that core amount of people, it's so easy to keep them there and to, grow even further. So.
Mm-hmm. So from when you started in your house to now, that's been 6 years?
No, I started in my house, I want to say maybe it's 12 years now.
Oh, wow.
And so I was in my house for a bunch of years, and then I rented a room, at a variety of different places to see if that worked. And then it really just wasn't a fit. It wasn't the schedule that I needed. And so then I decided to expand it and then put it into I think it was 1,200 square feet of building, which was just 2 rooms and then a small studio. And then I was there for 3 years. And then we just grew too fast. And so then we moved on, and we were in a different place, which was, I think, 2,600 square feet. And that was started at 4 rooms. And then I expanded it to 6 rooms during those 5 years because we needed it, as well as the studio space. And then just recently in 2019, I moved again into 4,000 square feet, and now we have 8 rooms. So as well as the studio. So it's it was a very short amount of time that we've had a storefront and moved it and got larger. But yeah, we've just had the need. People just they wanted to come in. They liked the hours. They liked being, most people, if you have a 9-to-5 job, you have benefits. So you need to have a massage after 5 or on weekends. And a lot of places, they just don't have that available. Mm-hmm. But I do have staff that just want to work that time frame. So it just kind of really worked together for like a nice little puzzle that it just all happened perfectly. It was, and I mean, it's not like it was easy, all of these things, because it is hard to get more clientele in, but I was able to have the employees in place that made it so that I had the time to work on social media and, various networking things to just get more clientele through the door. So, it's actually been great, actually. And, I even look back and think about how far it's come. And honestly, I can't believe it myself. Like, it just seems just crazy. Like I remember moving in and into having it out of my house. And I just think, wow, like it's not that long ago, but it's a long time ago. But it's just unreal.
So what's the greatest thing that you've learned about yourself over the course of these last 12 years?
But you need to have patience. That's kind of one of the things, is that I'm very goal oriented and strive for things, but I also I had to learn that it comes in time. You have to have patience to have something that's going to grow and actually work and be good. Whereas if you're not patient and you don't wait for the right time, or if you don't take your time to educate and to prepare and then strategize, then it won't go, it won't happen, it won't work, it won't stick, right? So that was one main thing I think would be patience, and acceptance. I guess as a business owner, you have employees that come and go, and things and ups and downs, and honestly, you can't take it as a failure. You can't take it personal. You have to learn to just let it like roll off and just be like, okay, so they didn't work out, we'll hire someone else, maybe something better will come along. Like, you have to look at that positive aspect. And I know it is so hard, especially during these times of COVID, but you have to look positively, because with that negative, if you look negative, then you're only going to think negative, and you're not going to grow, and you're not going to get better. You really, as much as it pains you to think, okay, that's fine, another closure, let's keep going. Right. It is hard to think that way, but you just have to. If you want to continue, if you want this to survive, you and your business to survive, you have to have patience and acceptance, and you just have to just not give up and just go hard. So, yeah.
So like, I've noticed that you have that online part now. Was that something that was always in your vision of it? Or like, because you do have online classes, and is that a pivot, or was that part of the dream that you've fulfilled?
Yeah, that actually was just COVID forced us. We, like with the classes that I teach, you weren't actually allowed to teach it virtually. It was something within our instructor certification that we agreed, like it's in our contract, that you can't do it. And so because of COVID, they reworded it and they allowed it. And then they educated on it. So make sure we were doing everything correctly and making sure it was proper. And then that's why, I have online fitness now, is because it was kind of forced upon me. On a Friday, they say you're closed right now, like it's over.
Yeah.
And then by Monday, I was still teaching, but I immediately tried it. I had 2 days to figure it out and get it online. And, at first it wasn't as great. Like we just had an iPad set up, because I'm like, we just got to get online, and this is what I own. Right. And then as the weeks went on, and as it continued to be closed, you start to think, okay, well, this isn't temporary anymore. Let's figure this out. And so then I made sure that I was set up properly with mics and with a computer to share the music, and a monitor so I could see everybody very largely in my studio, so that everybody was safe. And and, with getting all of that in place, then we just continued. And even though when we were open, we did a bit of a hybrid where we were only allowed 5 people in class and we could do it online. And so I continued the virtual because I was like, I don't know when this is going to end, if it's going to end, like, who knows? Like in September, you were like, all right, we're out of it. But then, November comes around and you're like, oh, lockdown again.
Yeah.
So this would never have happened if COVID never happened. So if anything, I guess positive comes out of it, there was that was huge. And even now, like I have maximized my studio to the point where I am teaching more people in my fitness classes that I could have physically had in my studio prior to COVID. And
wow,
these people are in, England and throughout the States and all through Canada and like all over the world can join now. And so I can have, infinite amount of people online, still only like 5 to 10 people in studio, but I can still grow it and I can still, expand that aspect of it, which was, like I said, never available prior to COVID. So yeah, it's kind of neat.
Is this something then, if you have them from all over the world, that you're going to continue?
Yeah, as long as they, the different classes and associations and everybody still allow us to, definitely I'm going to keep it that way. I even have some people that, physically don't drive, but they would like they attend the classes. So, or moms that, have kids at home that, rather than bringing them for childcare, if their husband's not back or something like that, they can still do the class around their kids and then be done in time to make supper or what have you. So it's worked really well for a lot of people, and a lot of people are attending my class that never attended before. So yeah, I'm definitely, as long as I'm allowed, going to continue it virtually, because it's just really helped a lot of people even through this to be able to have something to look forward to, a physical activity. And, I see them and I say their name and I'm like, oh, hey, how's it going? And we have conversations and then we check in. And so it's way different than watching like a video on your TV. Like you really are interacting with that person. So I think a lot of people really just enjoyed that, especially because of the lockdowns and the isolations and stuff like that. But yeah, 100%. We're going to keep it going as long as we can.
That's awesome. If you could do anything differently, what would it have been over the last 12 years?
Anything differently? Just like anything 12 years ago, would it have been great if I purchased a building versus leasing? Probably. But 12 years ago, would I have had the funds to even think about it? Probably not. So, something that I would change is maybe, doing something along those lines, making sure that my building is something that I am, own. Mm-hmm. But that being said, 12 years ago, I thought I needed 1,200 square feet of business. So I probably wouldn't have purchased what I need 12 years later. So it's kind of one of those, it would have been great, but leasing is fine. It's because now I can grow, after each lease goes by, and which was lucky that I could keep growing as the leases kind of expired, and it really worked out.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So what has kept you, like you said that everybody comes to you. Like, I find that so fascinating that you haven't had to go out for like staffing. Do they come to you as well, like with their own clientele, or when?
Sometimes they do, whether it's like a place that's shut down and so then they just need another place, or they're doing it out of their home and they just don't want to anymore, because you never are away from work when you do it out of your house. And that was one of the really big reasons why I wanted to get it out of my house, is when I go home, I want to go home. I don't want to be still at work. So a lot of times it's people like not wanting to do it out of their homes, but most times it's actually students that they're just looking for a place to work. And so the different schools, I'll make sure that I put an ad up, if we're looking to say that, if anybody is graduating, that we do have a spot available. And I think the schools now, they just know us from 12 years, that if someone's looking, they say, well, try them, and maybe they'll have a spot. So, and I think that's why they, I had advertised at one point, and then they just remember.
Yeah.
So they're the same instructors. Then they're like, oh, so-and-so got a job at True Touch. Why don't you try them? So.
So it's also so massage therapy and fitness. Do you find that your clientele kind of move between the two as well, or like they come in for massage and like, oh, that class looks fun, or they come in for there and like, does that happen quite a bit with your business?
Yeah, it kind of goes both ways. So we have schedules down at reception, and then they'll see and they're like, "Oh, that's what's going on upstairs. I was wondering what was happening. Sounds like a lot of fun." And then they'll decide to come for a class, because all of our classes will let everybody come like their first time for free, just to try it out and see if it's something for them. But and then the same the other way, some people are just looking for fitness classes to attend, and so they'll go to a class and then they're like, "Oh, you have massage downstairs," and so they're like, "I think I need one now after that class." So it kind of really complements both sides, whether it be training or the classes and the massage. It seems like they use all of the services, kind of thing.
Yeah, for sure. That would make sense. Yeah. And I could imagine with some of those, like I've been to a couple Zumba classes and they're not quiet.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, luckily, like between the floors it's a concrete. So
that's
they
good.
can't hear the too much through it. So which is really great. But yeah, it's it's so fun.
That's awesome. So how do you celebrate your wins in your business?
Well, before COVID, we would have, barbecues together, like as a staff. Or we, sometimes I would do charity events, type stuff, volunteer like our time. That's where I did a lot of, basically at the very beginning of my business, is volunteering a lot of time at a variety of different events so that I could have brand recognition. So once they see my logo, they're like, "Oh, I saw her at this." And so then now they look into it and they're like, "What is that? I saw that logo." And then they're searching for me and they're trying to see what it is. But those are all, obviously before COVID and when we could do it. But now, we haven't really done too much, trying our best to, being closed for almost half the year makes it really tough financially to do anything financially big. But we try to, donate, like, for example, on the 17th of March, I bought, like, I think it's a night at the homeless shelter, so that we completely fund them for a night so that they don't have to pay. And so there's like different little things like that we're trying to do, but because of, the shutdown and this past year, it's tight on money right now to be able to do much. Mm-hmm. But as long as I can donate my time, that's easy. We just did a Zumbathon charity event for Camrose Women's Shelter. And so that was for 1 Billion Rising. And so it was, just a showcase to bring awareness to everything that's happening with 1 Billion Rising. You can check that out later. And just stuff like that where they were normally doing that in person, but they reached out to me because I do fitness classes online. And they're like, "I don't want to miss out this year because of COVID. Can you help us?" And that's easy. That's easy to do and to give back. Even though they're Camrose, I feel like they're still the community, they're still the region, they're still this area. Mm-hmm. And I'm sure some of them come, for massage potentially or classes or whatever. So I thought, why not donate my time? That's easy. It's just my time, which I know is sometimes limited, but I'll find time.
So what keeps you motivated when the days get hard? Like being shut down for half the year, like how do you keep that up, and how do you keep that positivity going?
It's exhausting. It's exhausting to continue to feel and think positive when the world around you is crumbling. Like that was a huge challenge this year. It's like every time you're like, "Okay, we're going to open up. Great. Oh, limited. Okay, that's fine. We'll figure it out. Oh, masks. Oh, extra PPE. Oh, look at all the cleaning supplies. Cool. Haven't made money in 3 months, but let's spend money." But you just got to keep going. You just got to continue to find some form of positive. Like, we're all healthy. We haven't had COVID. We're making it. There's government funding available. That's fine. We'll make it. And really the focus of this past year was just get past the year. Don't make money. Who cares about making money as long as you've paid your bills, you've employed your people, and we survive is kind of that focus was. And And you just, I mean, there's days that you come home and you're trying your best to put that happy face on for your employees, right? And you're like, it's fine, don't worry, it'll only be temporary. We'll get you back in it. It's all going to be great. And then you go home as a business owner and you cry. Mm-hmm. It just happens because you have to have that strong, like being a leader into, a business owner, you have to show how strong you are because you got to push them higher because they're all feeling what you're feeling. And then you come home and you're like, okay, well, that sucked. How am I going to get through this? And you sit down, you have a glass of wine, and you're like, you know what? You've been through a lot your whole life. We've grown as people. Things has happened, and we will get through this. I don't know how, and I don't know what lessons we're being taught right now, but let's learn them and let's get through them, and it'll be fine.
Mm-hmm. But I think that shows a lot of who you are and why people came to you and said, no, I want to be on your team, or I want to, be a part of what you're creating, because you have that dedication to them first.
And I think I'm too stubborn to give up. I think that's a lot to it. It's just like, no, you said I'm closed. What? No, I will find a way to be open. Are you kidding me? Virtual fitness it is. Like, I think that's the part of me where it's like, I'm not willing to give up. But then, I also have my team members at True Touch where they're like, they also are on the sidelines saying, like, super nervous about their job, but they're like, it's okay. It's okay, Laura. We'll figure it out. Once we're open, we'll just work more and make up the difference, and, we'll figure it out. So it's, also having a good team that helps you feel like you have the strength to continue on without that, base helping you and knowing that they're still going to be there. They want to work again. And that helps you think, okay, we are going to open, we are going to continue, and we'll get through this. And it's fine. It's fine. Everything's fine.
Right. Well, but you need to have that moment of mindset to keep on going for sure. It's got to help with the pivots.
And you have to accept as a business owner to break down. You have to allow yourself to sit down and feel sorry for yourself and cry and have a drink of wine and get it all out. Say whatever it is you need to say to those people that are closest to you, that are only going to keep those words between you and them, but you're just getting it out of your system. And then you wake up the next day and you're like, okay, it's out. I feel better. And now how am I going to get through it? Mm-hmm. Right. But you have to have that support. If you don't have someone to vent that out and to say it out loud and to get it out, like you can't get past it. And so I think that's where some people get really stuck, is they're feeling it, they're holding it. It's in the pit of their stomach, but they're not saying it out loud, and they're not accepting that it sucks, and they have something they need to get through. And honestly, I think that was huge. Just come home and just cry. It's okay.
Yeah. Well, you need to allow yourself to have the emotions because they're there for a reason. You have to allow it. Right?
Exactly.
So, yeah. No, for sure. So what is, you've mentioned like only a small amount of classes, but what are some of the challenges then? Like, do you have, when you go to different countries and you're getting these people, like does that pose something? Are you looking for more of that as well?
Yeah, well, I'd love to expand to more countries. I actually ended up buying a map, I needed something to strive for, something to grow with, something to I needed my ribbon at the end of the race. And because I couldn't do that with massage, I found a way with fitness to have this map that you actually scratch off the different countries or states or provinces. And so each time that I have a new participant attend from a different place, I scratch off my map. And so that's kind of like my gold star wall. I have it up on the wall in the studio so that I can look at it and be like, yeah, this is where I've taught to different people. And so then I keep trying to strive for that. When they close you down and you can't make money, you kind of need something to keep your mind focused on. And so I grabbed onto that, and I just kept grabbing. And I think the only challenge potentially would be, a language barrier would be the hardest thing. But with a lot of my classes, there's not a whole lot of speaking. It's a lot of like up or down, and I'm pointing at the same time. So if they don't know what up means, by the time I've done it a few times, they'll eventually get it, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So, and if I'm pointing, it's kind of, your body language is a universal language. So, and the things that I teach are taught in a variety of different countries. And so a lot of the choreography would be similar. So they would potentially be able to jump in on it, even though they may not know what I'm saying necessarily.
Yeah.
So I think that would be maybe a barrier. Another one is like for England, for example, they can only attend the 9 a.m. classes because it's 4 p.m. their time. So, the morning times are the only times that they can actually come to a class, just because of the time zone. So that potentially would be, a little bit of an issue for different countries and stuff. But yeah, no, it's been great, and I hope to get more people worldwide to join, and especially where your first class is free. So even if you come and you're from a different country and you never come back again, honestly, I get to scratch my mat, so that's awesome.
Right?
Yeah,
no,
so
for sure. Yeah,
I gotta have those little wins. So yeah.
Yeah, no, I could absolutely see that being a fun moment. You're like, oh my God, that's so
Yeah.
cool. Like,
You just scratch the map right after class.
yeah, right. From our little community to their little community or their big community, depending. That would be.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So is there any way that Leduc community can support you better?
Well, the community does really, really well. I know when we were closed down, a lot of people came and bought gift certificates, even though they had benefit plans. They just came and they're like, I know when I come for a massage, it doesn't cost me anything, but I'm going to buy some gift certificates so that when my benefit plan does, end or you maximize it out, I'm going to have to pay for massages eventually. So I had a lot of people do that. I had a ton of people continue with the virtual fitness and join in virtually, just because they knew that was kind of my only source of income. So I had a lot of people really on board with that and helping us out through those really tough times. But even like on the different Facebook pages and stuff, like we're always being referred on there. And so with the community and the different people out there to just really help getting clients through our doors, that's really like a referral is the best compliment anybody could ever give any business owner. So they've been really, really great that way. It's been amazing.
That's awesome. I think that is fantastic that even though they have the benefits, they came and still did that. I think, again, it just speaks volumes for the type of community and the clientele and how they aren't just someone who comes in. They feel that family and there's that connection and that relationship with you that they come and get the gift certificates, even though they get it for free. Like, I think that speaks massive amount of volumes for the establishment and the community and relationships that you build with your business. So
exactly. And the reasoning is they're like, well, we want to make sure you're here after this is over. And so they felt that this was their way of ensuring that they could get a massage, like in months to come when they could. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So they felt that it was kind of, I want you to stay open, and until whatever governmental supports were, announced, they're like, this will get you through it. Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, it's such a great community to be a part of. Best place to have a business.
I agree. I'm very biased, but I very much agree. So what would you like your business to look 5 years from now?
In 5 years from now, well, I mean, I signed a 10-year lease in 2019, so it will look the same from the exterior. But just honestly, I'd like to fill the 8 rooms, right now we have, 14 massage therapists that, work here and there. So I'd eventually like to have enough clientele to make sure that we're, have all the rooms going with therapists in all of the rooms at all the different times. But then also, the fitness aspect. Now that, we are virtual, I just have all of these new goals, to try to reach as many countries as we can, to, try to have as many clientele as possible, virtually, and helping people that normally wouldn't be able to come to a gym or a studio because of whatever means, or, even location. If they're at a place that doesn't actually have a rec center or a hall where there's an instructor teaching, I want to be able to, give them that service. So yeah, I'm just hope to survive COVID, and then also, grow that clientele in all the different aspects of the business, and just keep keep growing, keep going.
How is it that you're getting, like, are you marketing or like, how are you reaching across the world to those different places for your?
Yeah, well, I was kind of watching the news. And so when a different country or area ended up being in lockdown and their gyms closed, then I would do a campaign, whether it be Facebook and Instagram, to that specific area for my classes. And so I was kind of watching all of the news throughout the whole world, which is exhausting to watch it all. It's depressing. Um,
Yes.
but by watching it all, I could pinpoint where and who would be wanting to come to my class next. And so it was exhausting to watch it all and to look at it all and to make all these promotions, but it brought people. So it worked. And so once they've done it, now they could tell their friend, and so you just kind of have to get there to tell them what it is that you have available and what to offer. And then it kind of just grows similar to the virus.
Yeah.
Everybody starts to understand where it is. They want to try it out. You can try it for free. So there's like no cost and no worry about it. You just have to have, a laptop and some internet. So, and then you're fine. So yeah, I just really, strategized on who was closing their gyms and tried to, maximize my promotions and my advertising towards that area.
Wow. That's very out of the box thinking and very like, I think that's fantastic. It shows passion for your job and like passion and that perseverance to keep on going, that you paid that much attention to everywhere else in the world around you so that you can really leverage the virtual world that you had to create and pivot to create. So I think that that's brilliant, really brilliant. And it shows what a great business owner that you are, that you thought of that and pivoted and grew.
There's opportunity in everything. You just have to see it and then act upon it immediately. You can't see it, think about it, talk about it, dream about it, and then do it because it's too late. You have to really like jump on it immediately when you see that little flicker of an idea. You just got to go for it. You got to. And some ideas don't work, and that's okay. But if you don't try, then none of them will work. So,
So have you had lots of ideas that you've tried and then you're like, it didn't work. And then you just like, how does that moment work for you if you've experienced that?
Well, most of them do work, but they just don't work. Like, it's not like they go viral in a sense, right? Like you'll get a few people, extra people, or you may have something that gets you a lot of people. And so, so I see all of them as success in that sense, that even if I get one more person in class, then that was a good campaign, whatever that was. But yeah, not all of them are like huge, winners. But every idea is just another idea. It's another step in the right direction. It's one more like on Facebook, one more, follower on Instagram. It's those little things are still big, because eventually all of those add up into being really big. So, so yeah, they all kind of, they work. I get something or someone, but they're not always, necessarily. I can't think of one example right off the bat because it's all been really focused on the fitness this past year. But I'm sure I've had other ideas in the past. I just don't remember anything past this year.
And what a year it's been though. And you really like, there's been some, as much as it's a pivot, like you can really, I can feel it. There's some momentum coming with this new, like for you to go across the waters or to the States or any place else. And like, you can feel that there's a little momentum, even if it's just one. There's still something.
Oh, exactly. Right? Yeah. Because that one person, they're going to talk to their girlfriends and they're going to be like, hey, come and try this. It's free. Like, why not? And they end up selling it for me. And so, yeah, I think it'll grow. And I mean, even if it just like, because some people are getting a little sick of being virtual right now, I think because of COVID. And I think you're going to start to see a bit of a lull just because people are like screen tired, right? But I think if you keep virtual, eventually it is going to go back up, even when people come back into in-person stuff, because it's convenient, right? So They may want to drop off, once it's nice outside, to go do something outside because it's been cold, we're Canada, and you just want to go do something different, a change of scenery. You want to get out of your house, especially if you're working there. But I think it'll always be very successful. It just may go down, but it'll come back up really fast.
Have you found just over the years that it is very seasonal in regards to like seasonal drop-offs? And
yeah, definitely. And for both, for fitness and massage. Like massage right now, it's just been going really, really hard all the time. But I think it's because we've been closed here and there. And so people are they're catching up, or they're worried about another lockdown. So they're like, well, I'm going to get my massage now before they close us again.
yeah.
But like massage, we had a lot of ups and downs, like starting in October, basically from October to December, we are booked constant, and people are adding people to the schedule, but that's the benefit plans, right? So people want to use up their benefits before the end of the year and they roll over. Whereas fitness, they do have their ups and downs. Like in spring, it kind of goes down a little bit for participation. And then over summer, it's kind of, we have less classes during the summer just because there are less people taking those classes. And, we don't do it on weekends because most people go and do something. Even if it's just gardening or what have you, there's always something that they want to do. So they don't come. And then in September, it starts to gear back up again. And then, over winter, they're like, I've got nothing else to do. And so they're going hard. We still manage to keep, like, we have some really great core participants that, like, this is their lifestyle. It's not a fad. They're not trying to lose weight to fit into their wedding dress. Like, this is their life. They want to be healthy. They want to keep up with their kids or their grandkids. And they want to make sure that they're healthy. And so they come, that if they're coming to Tuesday's class, they're coming every Tuesday from now forever. And so you'll have those people that will just always show up. So we want to make sure we always have something available for them, even over the summer when it's slower. But because there's people that this is what they do on Tuesdays, and, but yeah, it does go up and down and fluctuate depending on the weather and, the time of year kids are out, then that means they're going to go do something fun if they can.
No, absolutely. Yeah, I can definitely. It's crazy how -5 feels warm in some of the weather that we've been having. You're like, it's only -5. Let's go outside.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. So, what do you love about Leduc and the community here?
Well, the things I really like are actually the things that take my participants away from my screen, are like the multi-paths and the parks and the, like going for a bike ride with my kids. We could go for like a 10K all around the city, and, just having those things, the outdoor rinks, just all of the outside free things to do. I really love those things, and that they're available pretty much in any neighborhood. And if they aren't, they're on the plan to be. So I like that aspect of things. And just honest, it feels like a small town, but it's a city. And maybe it's because we're so close to Edmonton that's such a big city that it just feels just like I'm from a small town of like 1,200 people. And this, Leduc feels small, but I mean, for 35,000 people, it's not small. So,
no.
So I think that's where, like, it's great to have a business because it's something that you have enough people to make it, a successful business. But to live here with your family, it's really great because it's that small town feel that, you go down for a walk or go down Main Street and you're going to bump into someone, or go grocery shopping and you're going to see someone that So it's, it just has those great benefits. And being so close to the airport, I mean, if we could ever go somewhere, we, it's a 3-minute drive or like a quick cab ride, so it's just, so many great opportunities.
And I find too with Leduc, like, it's not even the people but the people that you can meet. Like, my kids are always like, do you know them? And I'm like, no, but I know them now. Like, I was just chatting, or, like it definitely has that feeling of the small town where even if you don't know them, you'll get to know them.
Oh, exactly. Or you'll bump into them if you have the same, age kids or, the same different, sport interests, or you end up meeting everybody.
Yeah. Absolutely. So if you need a special gift in Leduc, where do you go?
So a special gift in Leduc, I would probably walk down Main Street, to be honest. There are so many of these cute little shops, like Christmas shopping even, that you can go in and you can get something unique. You can get something that you can't get, 40 of. Basically, that is the one you can get, is the one that's on that shelf. So I just love those little shops. There's so many of them on Main Street that you can just walk by, and there's like 20 of them. Like that's where I usually go for my Christmas shopping, just so that I'm getting them something different. I usually send a lot of gifts back home, which is New Brunswick. And, the stuff that I can get in those shops aren't things that they would be able to get back home. So it's different. It's unique, basically. And that would definitely be my place to get something.
Yeah, I have to say everybody in my family got that Christmas present from Main Street as well. And it was part of the reason that I was really inspired to start this podcast is, driving down Main Street, you see all these signs, and then actually walking into the shops. Like, I hadn't been in so many of them. And I was like, wow, like if maybe people actually got to know the person behind the till and the sign, that maybe be more inclined to shop around and really support local in the way that I think that branding shop local should be. So
yeah, because you see like the door and it looks like it's so small, but then you go inside and the building is so long, and so it's so big, and it's kind of like that Alice in Wonderland feeling where you're kind of walking into like this new world where you never expected it to be on that side of that door, right? Like it's crazy. It's definitely worth walking. Like how long a time could it take to walk down Main Street? It's not very big, but the amount of time you spend in those stores, those are the times that you have to give yourself some time. But so many of them, and they look so little, but you walk through and it's so big.
Mm-hmm. No, I completely agree. So if you have a day off, how do you spend it?
A day off? What is that? How would I spend it? So I would spend it usually doing, something with my kids, whether that be exploring, going hiking, having a bike ride, walking the dogs, stuff like that. That's kind of where I like to spend a lot of it, is giving my mind a break, and not having to think about anything, and to just focus on enjoying that moment. But those days off don't really happen very often.
Yeah.
But when they do, that's kind of how I would like to spend it.
That's nice. Yes. I imagine that the kids probably enjoyed having you around a little bit more during your time off too. I imagine that was a special treat.
Yeah, except for the fact that they were trying to learn their school and I couldn't help them. That was a bit of a struggle. But yeah, we ended up doing like home ec class together, and so we got to do all of what the teacher wanted us to do. It was really fun, really good.
That's awesome. Is there any parting words that you have for our listening audience for today?
I guess the only thing I would say is to keep going, and there is a way to keep going. Potentially sometimes there really isn't, and that's okay too. But maybe talk to other business owners. Maybe they will come up with something you've never thought of that would work really great on, helping your business continue. And that conversation is worth it if you really want to continue. So I'd say, don't give up trying until, you've tried everything. And by everything is talking to everyone and making sure that you've exhausted everything you possibly can, because it is worth it. You work so hard. 12 years of doing this business, there's no way I was going to give up those 12 years I put into this. Like, there's no way that 1 year was going to put me down after working so hard and sacrificing for 12 years. There's no way. I'm too stubborn for that. I've worked too hard for it. And I couldn't accept it. So, but just reach out. There's so many people that honestly could help you or help you get through it. And a lot of times that advice is free. So I just say, try and try not to give up. I know it's hard, especially when you feel like all the odds are against you, but it's worth it. It's definitely worth it.
So if I was a business owner and where would I reach out? Where do you suggest? The chamber, the city? Like, where are some places that you would reach out?
Well, I would definitely, the chamber would have so many different resources to be able to connect you with the right person or the right business to help you out of whatever it is that you are going through. Or see, like if you're in the downtown, there's the Downtown Business Association. Like there's lots of great support groups there. And even the city, contacting Harold at the City of Leduc to say, this is what's happening. This is what I need help with. How can you help? And they may be able to even create a program that could help you, but also help others. Like there's probably others that are suffering and that are, wondering how to fix and how to get through it. And if we can do an education thing to help you, I think the city would definitely jump on board with that. So I think it's, just reach out to as many, even your business owner. If you have a storefront, walk to the business next door, say, hey, how's it going? How are you finding things? What are you doing to keep going? And just, be that small community and talk to those people. And yeah, but I think, for sure the chamber would be able to put you in touch with somebody that could, help you find a way through it. That would be the first one, 100%. And then they probably would refer to the city of a program that's being, available or whatever. So.
Awesome. Well, I really appreciate your time today, and thank you so very much. And I hope that we inspired some businesses to keep on going and to reach out if they need. And I really appreciate you sharing your growth and all the stuff that you're doing for our community and just the worldwide now as well.
Yes.
So that's fantastic. So thank you so very much, and I'm looking forward to chatting soon.
You betcha. Thank you.
Thank you.